Hello, this is Jacqueline Eckern with Eating Disorder Hope, and today I'm very honored to be interviewing Miss Molly Davis, who is an LMSW and a primary therapist at Fairhaven Treatment Center for Eating Disorders. And with that, I'd like to first introduce you, Miss Molly.
Hi, nice to be here.
It's great to have you. So I have a lot of interesting things to ask you about Fairhaven. One is, I know you have kind of a novel mind-body approach. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that our MindBody program is one of the things that makes Fairhaven really unique. I've seen a lot of clients really benefit from this program. So our MindBody program is the idea of a sense of connectedness and wholeness within our clients. When clients come to us at first for our residential program, a lot of them feel very disconnected and are even not able to recognize hunger cues within their body. So we start by building a sense of awareness. We recognize that our clients are not just their minds, they're not just their bodies, they're a combination of both, and there's so much more. So we do a lot of different things like guided meditations, gentle movement, yoga, breathing, a lot of experiential practices, awareness practices that just allow clients to sort of connect with themselves in a way that they previously haven't. One thing that we're really excited about is we have a labyrinth feature. It's sort of off campus a little bit. It's a stone pathway that's really nice. We do a lot of walking meditations there. It symbolizes sort of the journey to recovery, a lot of different bends and twists in the road. And the idea of getting to the center is the center of self. So it's the idea that we're all kind of walking this path together. We might be at different places, but it's sort of when we get to the center together, we're able to live an idea of our truth.
That sounds wonderful. And do many of the clients that come to Fairhaven recognize that they're a little bit disembodied or detached from themselves?
I think so. I think when you consider the emotional aspect, a lot of eating disorders focus on the control of our internal system through externally controlling what we take into our bodies. So we have a sense that we're not able to feel emotionally connected to our bodies. We're not able to regulate where we feel what emotion inside. And then also we're not able to feel physical cues such as hunger or tired, or, am I feeling a depressive symptom, an anxiety symptom, or is this a symptom of, my body is just not really connected with itself where I am emotionally. So I think that that's one of the first things that we sort of present to clients as an idea of, hey, we're not just here to work on the physical, we're here to work on the whole picture.
Yeah, very important. And how do you inspire participants in your program to respond compassionately to their body when they're used to being sort of out of touch?
Right. I think for our program, a lot of it is at first just creating a sense of awareness. So for a lot of clients, they haven't been very aware of their bodies and emotions for a while. So just sort of noticing like, hey, what is this feeling in my body? Or what is this emotion? Some clients can't even name, are they happy? Are they sad? Are we angry? So just sort of creating an awareness of who we are and what we're feeling in the moment. Then we move toward the idea of, okay, what are the things that kept us from meeting our own needs? What are the things that kept us from having a compassionate awareness of our body? So that's where we get into challenging some of the internal schemas, internal messages that we may be holding on to, and then moving toward like compassionately being able to answer our body.
That's wonderful. And I know that you do some equine therapy in your program. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, that is a really cool aspect that we've kind of just added for Fairhaven. So for anybody who's not really familiar, the equine therapy is working with horses, which I had to do a lot of education about also. I think when a lot of people think of equine therapy, they think of riding horses or doing, jumping or tricks, and it's not really like that. It's more, again, with the awareness of ourselves in connection to the horses. This is done through a variety of activities. It could be feeding the horses. It could be walking the horses around the stable. Clients eventually move to walking the horses around like an open field, supervised by like our clinical team and the horse manager. Could be sort of understanding what are the horses doing socially, how are we reacting to that, noticing kind of how we interact with horses and what they're feeling from us, because they're fantastic creatures. They're able to really sense where our energy is.
Mm-hmm. I think in one of our prior conversations, you also mentioned that it sort of teaches composure or a state of being in charge of yourself. Can you tell us about that?
Right. I know for some of my clients in particular, they might have come to our program a little bit more introverted at first. So when you work with horses, you have to have a sense of confidence and composure for a horse to trust you to kind of lead it. Also for, the horse not to be leading you. So clients developing that is really, really cool to watch. They're able to kind of tap into, okay, maybe I don't feel confident in my everyday life, but this is a moment where I can feel safe and secure, and I can kind of be in charge of myself, and then also take responsibility for this beautiful, gentle creature. We have clients who are really able to access like, okay, I'm the leader of this activity. That's been great. Clients are really encouraged to work on nonverbal skills. So without like, clicking at the horses or like, telling them to move or pulling, kind of how would you, through your body language, encourage something like that? We had one client who did a really hilarious dance for the horse to try to motivate it to move. So just seeing clients kind of like come out of their shell and like figure out different ways like how to interact with animals that maybe they've never interacted with horses before. It's really cool to see kind of what they come up with and who they really are.
Yeah, it sounds like an awesome opportunity for self-discovery.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. It really helps with the relationship building. We've seen it be a huge sense of improvement for anxiety and anger management. How to set boundaries with the horses, like I want you to walk here and not here. We do an activity where clients kind of observe the horses interacting together, kind of mentalizing, what is this horse thinking? Why did this horse react like this? How does this apply to me? So kind of doing a little bit of self-awareness while also like interacting with a larger animal.
That's fabulous. I was excited to hear that there's an anxiety relieving component to it, because so many people that contact eating disorder hope have a co-occurring issue of anxiety with their eating disorder.
I think that's definitely what we see also. So a lot of our therapies are not just based on like, okay, eating disorder symptom reduction, but like how can we help maybe some other issues that clients are struggling with, whether that be like interpersonal skills, life skills, anxiety, depression reduction, bipolar, whatever clients are struggling with, that's where we try to meet them there. And equine therapy is a great way to handle all of those.
It sounds like it. And then I know you incorporate some other pet therapy. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, which I'm super excited. So we have two dogs that we currently work with. We work with the Mid-South therapy dogs. One of our dogs is Beans. He's a huge dog. He's so beautiful and so fluffy. And then the other dog is Figs. He's absolutely adorable. So it's our pet therapy, or oftentimes people call it animal-assisted therapy. It's just the idea of a guided interaction between clients and a trained therapy dog. So these dogs are great with working with clients. They're super calm. They know how to respond. Clients really enjoy like having them like lay down or do tricks. It's also really great for like depression and anxiety. We've done a lot of work with these animals, and it's been fantastic to see clients totally light up when the dogs walk in the room. That's what people look forward to. When are the dogs coming? So we get excited about that.
It sounds like it makes it more comfortable and home-like too, rather than some sort of cold clinical setting to be in treatment.
Absolutely. It makes it, it's got a home feeling to it. I will say that's, speaking of that, totally off subject, that's something I love about our residential facility. It's actually based in an old house. So it kind of feels, it's got a home feel. All of our meals are kind of family style together. Our group room has like comfy chairs and couches. It's just a big old house. Clients can, wake up, have their cup of coffee on the porch. We have deer that kind of go through the woods and a lot of squirrels. It's a really beautiful setting. So yeah, when the dogs come, it feels like the family pet coming. So it's good.
I bet it does. And I appreciate that you're very LGBTQ friendly. And I know that's super important. What makes you unique in that way?
Yeah, I have worked at a couple different programs just, throughout the years. It's been so awesome to see Fairhaven have such an open and just like accepting attitude and value system. We really try to just meet clients where they are, whatever their background, whatever their beliefs, that's where we are with them. It just focuses on the whole person. So whatever clients feel, whoever they are, wherever they are in time, that's where we kind of meet them. I know just for myself, I've been in groups with clients before where, maybe a client feels comfortable coming out for the first time in their life, or are able to have difficult conversations with their family for the first time through a family session. A lot of our clients are working on just experimenting with who they are through their expression. I had one client who just, recently colored her hair red. So important to her to finally be able to express like, hey, this is how I feel more comfortable in my body. So we take into account gender expression, sexuality, religious beliefs, whatever clients feel comfortable with, that's where we meet them. And it's been really, really amazing to see Fairhaven's totally just open arms with everyone.
That's lovely. And it's wonderful to see the person recognized without any judgment.
Right, yeah. We know that people are so much more than their eating disorders. They're so much more than a label. They're a whole person.
And speaking of that, you have some great therapies. I know that you do DBT therapy. Can you tell us about that and how it plays out in treatment?
Yeah, DBT, I'm particularly passionate about DBT. I do some DBT groups, even for our adolescent program, which is great. A lot of our clients give us some pushback on DBT, but we recognize that it is one of the essential first therapies that we kind of start with. So dialectical behavioral therapy, it's a cognitive-based therapy. It emphasizes the mindfulness, distress tolerance, emotional regulation, and interpersonal effectiveness. So it's just a combination of kind of basic skills that we would start with for anybody. I mean, it's something we can all use. So we recognize that DBT is really important with eating disorders in the beginning for symptom control, as well as like initial coping skills. So when clients come in, sometimes it's just initially about like, okay, let's get some behaviors under control. Let's just kind of, see where you are, get you to a healthier place. So we recognize that it's really necessary in the beginning for the first stages of recovery, but it's not wholly sufficient for all of our treatment. So we're not just DBT based. We try to add a lot of different therapeutic interventions. So it means we offer really a range of compassion focused therapies is sort of where we start, where we meet our clients. And that's really what kind of ensures our best results with everybody.
You bet. And what are some of the other therapy techniques that you employ?
Really, a lot of our interpersonal therapies, our experiential therapies like the MindBody Program, the equine therapy, the pet therapy, DBT as well as CBT, and we're trauma focused as well as compassion and strength space, and probably we're most known for our IFS interpersonal family systems. So I always say to my clients, there's enough room in the toolbox for all of the tools. Wherever you are, that's where we'll meet you with. We'll try everything. So a lot of our clients really appreciate that we have a variety of approaches.
That's great. And the IFS approach, I think that's something people would be really interested in because I know families so badly want to support their loved one in healing. Can you tell us a little bit about that type of therapy?
Right, yeah. So we offer family therapy just kind of as clients come in. It's not something that's required because we know that every client's family system is different. For our internal family systems, a lot of it is the idea that within each of us, there are different parts. So clients are able to recognize, hey, there's a part of me that maybe feels this way, or there's a part of me that maybe feels this way. So it's an idea of the same as you would in a family, different family members play different roles. Different clients have different roles within themselves. So maybe there's an eating disorder part. There's also a part that really wants recovery. So a lot of times those parts are really polarized. And it's the idea that just sort of takes the eating disorder and gives it kind of a separate identity. So we know clients aren't just one thing. They're not just their eating disorder or anxiety, depression, whatever sort of diagnostic label they have a lot of different parts going on. And that makes up the idea of the whole person.
Does the family therapy provide the opportunity for some healing for siblings and parents as well?
Definitely, I think so. We've seen a lot of clients do a lot of healing within families that they're able to have tough conversations that they've maybe never had before. One thing that I really appreciate is our dietetic team is able to offer so much support and education for families who maybe come in and have never had a loved one with an eating disorder before. So we're able to provide a lot of education in the way of like, this is how you can be supportive to your loved one who's going through a really, really difficult time. This is what, intuitive eating and healthy eating looks like for us. This is the way that we, approach our therapy. Clients are able to share things with family members and siblings that they've never talked about before. And it's really impressive to see the amount of healing that they're able to do when families are on board and supportive. And that includes siblings also.
That's wonderful. It's just the opportunity for generations to find healing, not even just the individual in treatment, but the other family members and possibly generations down the road as they change behaviors and learn healthier skills for interpersonal relationships.
Absolutely. We talk a lot about the idea of generational trauma as well as attachment trauma, really allowing clients to come to terms with a lot of personal trauma includes family trauma. So doing a lot of work healing the individual involves a lot of work healing their support system sometimes. Of course, keeping it client focused, but if we can create a strong support system with the client, that provides that much more opportunity for healing.
Mm-hmm. I agree. That's wonderful. So I know you do a lot of work with trauma. How does that look and how is it addressed?
Right. Trauma work is really difficult, especially in, I think, the initial stages for residential. For me personally, with my clients, a lot of our trauma work at first is just creating that therapeutic alliance. That's some of the most powerful work that we're able to do, is just create a sense of safety with clients where they are. I know a lot of my clients personally, they've never been able to experience a sense of safety with themselves or with others around them. There's been attachment trauma, abandonment, personal trauma, traumatic events. So being able to come to Fairhaven and just have clients let their guard down for the first time, create healthy and positive attachments in my experience, it's a blueprint for hopefully the rest of their lives. If I can create healthy attachments here, not only with my therapist, but with the staff, with the people who do the pet therapy and equine therapy, with other clients here, and have that sense of community, hopefully clients can translate that to other areas of their lives and be able to do even more trauma healing down the road.
Absolutely. And is there an aftercare program, or what do people do when they finish their initial round of treatment?
Right. So for some clients, and of course clients come in at all stages of recovery and healing. I work at the residential facility, which is wonderful. Like I said, sometimes I call it a big old sorority house because we're an all-women facility, which gets fun. So we have the residential program, and then about 10 minutes down the road, we have our outpatient building where we do PHP and IOP programming. So if clients want to continue with Fairhaven, they absolutely can. Sometimes they're able to have their same therapist or dietitian. So we have the same team at all levels of care, which is really fantastic, just to have that continuity of care. Our clients also from out of town have the opportunity to participate in our transitional living program, which is a fantastic opportunity. I think it's one of the things that sets us apart. Clients are able to live in housing right off campus, so they can walk across the street to our outpatient facility. We do housing checks just to make sure that they're safe, that they have enough food in the home. It's an opportunity for them to practice living on their own and also, practice what living in recovery is going to look like.
That's great that you're addressing all those levels of care, and so wonderful to have the same people accessible that continue their healing journey.
Right, absolutely.
Can you explain to folks that might be watching what is the difference between residential PHP and IOP? They may not know, and they may be struggling to understand what might be the best treatment level for them.
Right, absolutely. So it's 3 different levels of care, 4 including outpatient. So for residential care is where clients actually live on campus. Like I said, it's a big old house. Clients have their own bedroom or shared bedroom. So they, eat and sleep. At residential, we do groups every day. They do group outings on Sunday, as well as like the equine therapy. So clients just sort of live on campus and do the majority of their healing there. At our PHP program, which is the partial hospitalization, clients come to programming during the day. We also have some night programming, but the majority of it's during the day, also on Saturdays. And that can be anywhere from 5 or 6 days a week to maybe 3 or 4 days a week. So clients come for programming during the day and then are able to go home at night. Some of our clients are able to have dinner here as well. So we really offer a range of programs. And for IOP, that's just where clients come less during the day. So they may come, from 9 a.m. and then go home at 3. They may come 3 days a week, maybe even 2 days a week. We really, really try to work with our clients, including their insurance, for what level of care is the right fit for them.
That sounds very good. And then if someone were to be in treatment and have a relapse, they could come back, maybe they've been in residential and come back at intensive outpatient level and still have that same team they could reconnect with, I'm supposing?
Right, absolutely, which is really exciting for our clients to be able to have the same team that knows them, knows what they like, knows what they don't, knows what's helpful for them, and just sort of walk with them every step of the way. We don't have as much of an outpatient team here at this time, but we do have different therapists and dietitians that we work with in the community.
Yes.
I always tell my clients, even if they're from out of town, whatever their need is, whether it's housing, finding a healthy outpatient team, we will work with them on that. So even if they choose not to remain with our program, we have a lot of clients from different parts of the United States, we will help them find a team from wherever they're from that fits for them too.
That's perfect. That sounds really good. What else, before we go, should we know about Fairhaven?
I'm trying to think. For me personally, I think one of the things that always stands out to me about Fairhaven, and I say this too because we hear this over and over again from clients, is our staff here really does care. I think that no one is here just for a paycheck. No one's here because they have to be. Our staff are here because they want to be, and they really, really care about our clients. I have clients say all the time, Fairhaven's not perfect. We're not always going to get everything right, but we're always trying and we're always doing our very, very best to have the best care for our clients that's individualized, that meets their needs, and that recognizes them for the whole person that they are. So that, for me, that's just the most important thing about being at Fairhaven. It's really why I enjoy it so much.
It sounds ideal, and I value that immensely too. I would like to come to treatment there, I think. If I were seeking treatment today, it just sounds like a very loving, wholesome, accepting environment that can meet people at all different levels of needs in treatment. And I have tremendous respect for your program at Fairhaven.
Thank you. Well, come for a visit.
I know, I want to, I should. So I hope anyone watching this will contact Fairhaven and in Tennessee, and we appreciated your time today, and it was great talking with you, Molly. I appreciate your time too.
Thank you so much. It was so great to do this.
All right, bye.
Bye.